Big Mom's wedding cake rage continues in this week's super sweet chapter of One Piece. That's right, for the last couple chapters, Big Mom has been throwing a shit fit. She desperately wants some cake. I don't think I've ever seen anybody want cake this bad, aside from, say, Nicolas Cage. But man, she is nigh indestructible. Raw power isn't going to stop her, poisonous gas isn't going to do shit, and even a massive freaking thunderbolt, which leaves a giant crater in the ground, does absolutely nothing to this brick house of a woman. She continues to go on the attack, and Luffy and his friends are forced to continue running away from this massive woman. Now, the thing that is most surprising about this week's manga chapter of One Piece is that it looks like Sanji is going to be incredibly instrumental in taking down Big Mom, not necessarily with force or even in a fight, but by actually preparing a cake. And that makes perfect sense. I can't believe I never even thought of this before. Sanji himself is a chef. He prides himself on being able to cook just about anything, and I'm sure that he is one hell of a baker. And that's why he is going to bake a cake for Big Mom. And who's going to help him in this effort? Why, it's going to be Pudding and Chiffon, of course. That's right, Pudding, who still continues to switch between her various personalities of being incredibly helpful and super nice, and being incredibly evil and bitchy the next. Pudding truly is a bipolar character, and watching her mood swings in this chapter was certainly one of the most fun aspects of it. I especially love that she seems to genuinely want to help out Sanji and his friends. The other thing is, though, she also doesn't want to go up against Big Mom, and she doesn't want to disappoint her either, so she still sort of puts on this front that makes it seem like she is a member of her crew, and she still seems to have aspirations of wanting to take these guys down, although basically, this is a situation where it's taking down the lesser of two evils. If they're able to get this cake, that means Big Mom's not going to destroy anything, and maybe she'll even be able to save Face in front of her mother. It's very strange that Pudding is constantly switching between these personalities, although at this point in the series, it's pretty obvious that's just one of the biggest aspects of her actual character. So it's really cool that Sanji, Chiffon, and Pudding are actually going to be making a cake together. The thing is, the groups are now going to have to separate, with Sanji and them going to Chocolate Town to gather the ingredients, make the cake, and bring it back over to Big Mom, while Luffy and all of his friends have to continue to do what they've been doing for the last couple of chapters, which is hauling ass and running away from this giant, scary woman. That and the fact that you still have Brook and Chopper, who are fighting hundreds of soldiers on the Sunny, realizing that they're all probably coming through the mirror in Nami's room. They need to break that mirror now. The problem is, even if they do that, they still gotta deal with Perospero and Katakuri, who seem to just be hanging out and waiting for their ultimate moment to attack. Although I have to say, Brook and Chopper actually fighting back and fighting on the Sunny and not being intimidated at all by Katakuri and Perospero is pretty freaking badass. So, what's the rundown on this week's chapter of One Piece? What a crazy chapter right here. A very simple one that got over with pretty quick and basically was just Pudding and Chiffon meeting up with a group and suggesting that they make a cake with Sanji to take down Big Mom. That's pretty much the chapter right there. However, just Sanji being the one to take down Big Mom makes so much damn sense in the grand scheme of things. And honestly, it's perfect. He's in the land of food, the land of chocolate and candy. He has all of these amazing ingredients at his disposal, so you know he's going to make a cake that he claims is going to make Big Mom faint. Now, we can take this in a number of different ways. This is saying that he's going to make a cake that tastes so good that Big Mom is not going to be able to contain her excitement and she's just going to knock out. Maybe he's actually going to put some sort of weird knockout gas or poison or something into the cake to actually trick Big Mom, which will allow all of them to make this big escape. However, it's just not going to be that simple, especially with Perospero and Katakuri being there. Katakuri in particular. This is a guy that I want to see more of, and I want to see him actually have a legitimate fight against one of these characters, which is either going to be A, Luffy, or B, Sanji at this point. Although, the arc has completely surprised me with some of the twists that we've actually been seeing, like the fact that Nami was the one who actually had that big attack scene last week, which, yes, it was awesome and one of the greatest Nami moments in my opinion from the series, but it didn't do shit against Big Mom. She's like this like giant mole who just like crawls and explodes out of the ground in an extreme fit of rage. And that didn't even like scratch her. And that was a massive freaking thunderbolt. That was like the hand of God coming down, and it didn't do shit to her. Big Mom is really proving that the Yonko are something that you don't want to mess with. And, you know, she's not even the first one to prove it. I mean, look at what happened to Whitebeard before. I mean, look at all of the crazy shit that he endured. And Big Mom is basically doing the same thing, except that there's absolutely nothing that is damaging her. Aside from that, there were a few other scenes that I really loved. I loved the moment where Pudding actually used her devil fruit powers on all of the different homies and the trees and the living things that are in the seducing woods. She was able to alter their memories so that those who actually had their souls taken and placed in these objects, those memories actually flushed right back into the homies, and because of that, Big Mom's not going to be able to control them, thus it's going to be a lot harder for her to get them out of the way. They're going to be acting as a roadblock. It's also kind of disturbing to see all of these things have their memories come back into them and not even be aware that they're like a weird living tree now. It's very, very strange, but it's also incredibly unique. A lot of that having to do with Pudding's devil fruit powers, which have only been used a couple of times in the series, so I was glad to actually see them make a pretty cool return. And going back to Pudding again, I mean, really, she was the star of this week's chapter, if only for the fact that watching her go through her mood swings was really fantastic, and all of her crazy expressions. Like, there are times when she's actually, like, excited to be around Sanji, as if she almost is in love with him, and there's a scene where she, like, throws her head back and her eyes turn into hearts, and she has, like, all of this foam just exploding out of her mouth, and then the next panel, she's evil again. Like, super evil, super really fucked up, and you can tell that that's sort of, like, messing with everyone. I also love that interaction she had with Luffy, where Luffy's like, hey, you wanna go? And she is totally not down for that at all. It's really strange. It's such a weird moment, and it really has started to make me appreciate her character because she has one of the most interesting character quirks that we've actually seen from the One Piece series. But yeah, Sanji making a cake makes total sense, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do and how he's going to do it in such a short amount of time, because I don't know if you guys have ever made a cake before, but it's not really an easy process, and it doesn't really like happen that damn quick, unless of course you're using an easy bake oven. And I don't know shit about that. It uses light bulb technology. They must have some sort of weird, crazy technology in this weird chocolate town, which will allow them to produce a cake this quickly. And I can't wait to see how it's all going to go down. I mean, even if they feed Big Mom the cake, is she really just going to let them go? Like, that cake was delicious. I'm gonna forget everything that happened here when you practically destroyed my entire cake island, and I'm just gonna let you go because I liked the frosting on that bitch. I just don't think it's gonna go down that easy. I mean, there's still going to be some major confrontation, especially with Perispero and Katakuri being there. Are they really just going to allow the Straw Hats to escape? Will Big Mom make some sort of big call? Will she actually love Sanji's cake so much that she actually decides to let them go? That's something that we've seen a lot in the past, where a lot of random people would eat Sanji's food, and they're like, this is the best damn thing that I have ever eaten. Is there the possibility that Sanji could make a cake so good that it actually saves them from Big Mom? Hell, they could turn Big Mom into a new ally simply because of Sanji's cooking. And I can't believe I never saw this before. It makes perfect sense. And I cannot wait to see how it's all going to go down. And that's what made this chapter really exciting. It's opening up a new portion of this arc that I didn't even possibly think about. I thought it was all just going to be a lot of crazy action, but no, we're about to go into some hardcore baking action. It's going to be awesome. So that's exactly why I'm going to give this chapter a 4 out of 5. It was a little long-winded and it went on a little while, and it was basically just one big scene that was stretched over the course of an entire chapter, but there's enough humor here and enough action and crazy moments going on that it made it a super entertaining chapter to read, which is why you should check it out if you've been following this story. So 4 out of 5 from me, but I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's chapter of the One Piece manga series. What type of cake is Sanji going to make for Big Mom? Will it actually end up saving them, or will it make things worse? How are Luffy and his friends actually going to stay away from Big Mom? What are Chopper and Brook going to do against Katakuri and Perispero? And what do you want to see from the rest of the whole Cake Island arc? Please tell me all your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you all so much much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more things One Piece related, whether that be the anime or manga version. And remember, I review a lot of other anime series, so this is my shameless plug-in for all the different shows that I review, so make sure to check that stuff out, guys. And remember to use your devil fruit power to hit that like button. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and as always, stay dandy, baby.